a figurehead of. And this is a real problem, because when you can't talk about the real problems that are going on the left, the violence of the left, then you're never going to solve it. What Jimmy Kimmel engaged in last night was called both sidesism. This is a new op by the left, a new hoax that they are running to say that they absolve themselves entirely of all political violence because there's political violence on both sides. That is factually untrue. Let's just look at the last month, Laura. There have been 3 mass shootings by left-wing radical activists, transgender activists, anti-immigration activists, and somebody living with his transgender furry boyfriend who shot up a church in Minneapolis and then shot up an ICE station in Dallas. What is the left's response to all of those mass murders been? It's been more terrorism. Terrorism against ABC News local stations, terrorism against Fox News vans for local affiliates in Utah, thousands and thousands of leftists celebrating the mass murder, 58 House Democrats refusing to denounce political violence on the House floor, Jimmy Kimmel getting suspended because he refused to apologize to the family of a young man who was just murdered. This is a huge problem, and Jimmy Kimmel addressing it. We actually talking about the spate of radical left-wing terrorism that is a scourge on our country right now. And you cannot unite with people who refuse to accept that they have a problem. Ultimately, we cannot make peace with evil, and that is what's most important here.
Yeah, well, Benny, Charlie believed in engaging with them. However, he did. He was asked once about, family disputes and so forth on politics, and people not talking to their friends for political reasons. And he said, don't do that. Engage. Always engage. That's the only way forward. So are you saying that, that's out the window now? You can't really engage with these people because they've essentially taken up arms or rhetoric that is so vile, it fans the flames of this type of political violence?
You said it perfectly, Laura, that what Jimmy Kimmel did was not apologize. He refused to call it what it is, which is left-wing violence. And so the left admits that they have a problem fomenting violence, and that left-wing terrorism has been met with more terrorism. This month has been one of the bloodiest months of political violence, and it's all been on the left. Charlie Kirk was a generational leader. He would have been a president, a Republican president. We are the aggrieved party. There were hundreds of thousands of people gathered in Phoenix. There wasn't a single broken window, not even a litter. Nobody even spit gum on the sidewalk. Nobody even jaywalked, Laura. Everybody was behaving peacefully, mourning, and praying. Contrast the Charlie Kirk revival with the George Floyd riots, and you will see the massive difference between the sides. I spoke with security at the event, Laura, and they told me the biggest fear they had was not the 100,000 mourners for Charlie Kirk, but one left-wing radical that got in and committed violence or terrorism. Law enforcement knows this, Americans with common sense knows this, and thankfully and hopefully the Trump administration knows this. I'm calling on the Trump administration, please declare a national emergency of left-wing violence in our country. People are unsafe because of these terroristic elements inside of the left that are hunting down my friends and hunting down people that just want to live peaceful, peaceable lives.
Bill Clinton spoke out today, Benny. I don't know if you caught this gem, but watch.
I'm worried that we're at risk of losing our freedom of speech, and that the weight of the government is being used to restrict expression from journalism to comedy.
But this is actually, they censored us during COVID. They use their algorithms to basically deplatform and suppress conservative voices. And they actually had a disinformation, misinformation plan at DHS that ultimately got unraveled. But now Bill Clinton's worried about a party he shouldn't even recognize today?
Again, leftists are more upset that a comedian had to go take paid vacation to be with his children than that Charlie Kirk will never see his children again. They're more upset that Jimmy Kimmel got put in timeout, or he had full freedom of speech. Jimmy Kimmel could have stood on a street corner and yelled whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
He could have tweeted, he could have posted on social media, he could have done anything. He had full freedom of speech, Laura. They're more concerned about that, they're more outraged at that than that Charlie Kirk will never speak again. This is a true moral problem on the left.
Sickness.
It is truly a sickness. It is not really political anymore. It's a spiritual problem. It's it's light versus dark, good versus evil. And you cannot unite with people who want you dead. You cannot unite with people over a lie. And do not unite with evil.
Yeah, the Morning Verses, no doubt. Benny, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And coming up, Gossip Queen, Kamala, igniting a civil war within her own party. The latest from her disastrous book tour. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller here at React Next. If you aren't completely sure of what the phrase self-unaware means,
Good night.